Good morning, everybody. Rod back with you again. Hope everybody's doing great today, having a good day. Um, we had a little bit of a winter storm here yesterday. I seen some other areas in the U.S. along the seaboard there uh, got hit by a ice storm, snowstorm, so to speak. I hope everybody fared out well. Hope nobody got hurt. Uh, seen into the more eastern areas here, Newfoundland, they got hit. Seen a couple videos where there was a house that was, or a building that was close to the water, and it got washed in from the high waves. Seen another video where the winds over there took the shingles off of a guy's roof. So yeah, we've had some rough weather and some winter weather. So what I was doing this morning is I seen a video put on by my buddies, my YouTube buddies that I talk to once in a bit, the shotgun scientists themselves. My liking for their content is pretty high. I like the fact that they kind of basically do science. They experiment, and that's all said and great. It can be done, but mind you, I recommend that to be done by an experienced person with reloading, somebody who's familiar with properties of propellants, primers, and performance of certain guns, strengths of guns, weaknesses of guns. You have to bear in mind that as well. And these guys so far have seemed to got their science down straight, and I enjoy watching their content. So kudos to you guys. Thanks for your content. Thanks for your contributions to the shooting community, and so on and so forth. So I noticed that he did a video today kind of looking at some old 410 ammo. Now, I do have the rounds. I got them kind of put away. They're older. Now, I don't shoot 410 very much. But I do own a single shot Ivor Johnson Champion, which was gifted to me by a friend many years ago. And when I got it, the fore end was missing, and we kind of whittled one out of wood, and so the story goes on. In a sense, the gun does work. It's just not pretty. But that's kind of the way I left it. I wanted to kind of be a reminder of how I got it from him. He's passed on now. So I really didn't want to restore the gun in any sense. Just wanted to kind of leave it the way that him and I kind of got it, able to go out and shoot it and have fun with it and take it from the scrap heap, so to say. So anyway, 410 shells. Up in here in Canada, for a while, you couldn't find 410 shells nowhere. It was like crazy. And when they finally came back, the cost was through the roof. Like I've seen some places, $65 a box for 3-inch 410 shells, and the 2.5-inch, the ones I call useless because I have no use for them. Excuse me, I just had my lunch. The 2.5-inch shells never performed well in my gun at all. It seemed like you just couldn't get a pattern out of them. A half ounce of lead is not very much, and at the velocities coming out, not very effective for distance. So the 3-inch shells, the standard velocity is normally around 1130, 1140 feet per second, which on their box said so. But I wanted to show them something that I had, some bit of Canadian history here. These would have been paper hulls. These are Imperial, and it does say 410 gauge. That's the way it's printed, I guess. There was 25 rounds in the box. These were 3-inch Magnum. And it was in French and English. And there's the English side. And to reference how old these are, these were purchased at Canadian Tire probably in the late 1960s to early 70s. And they were $5 and 29 cents for the box. Those days are out the window. They're gone. Now, he referenced also that it had a game guide, shot size guide. Well, guess what? Us Canadians weren't sleeping either. We put it on our boxes. As you can see right there, I'll flip the phone around in a few minutes and I'll give a closer look at the box. We've got the English and the French and so on. And here we go. Canadian Industries Limited, CIL, Imperial. You'll see it down there. Made in Quebec. The company is no longer in business. I believe Remington actually bought these guys out a long time ago, because I had some plastic 410 shells and plastic for Remington 410 3-inch, and they were virtually the same hull, same brass, and they even look like the same primer. Like, I mean, it was, I think Remington just bought out what they had and started producing the ammo back then. And I'll tell you, they made these things were great. These things, like, these were great for distance. They patterned really well. I do have some here in my cabinet. What I'll do is I'll make another video and I'll take them out. We'll just kind of have a gander at them. I don't got many of the paper ones left. They're hard to come by, and collectors sell these boxes full. I've seen them going for upwards of $80 to $100 for a full clean box. And this box ain't perfect, but I've had this a long time. This had belonged to my grandfather, and when he had his 410, and when he passed on, my grandmother kind of told me, you know, why don't you come in and see if there's anything here of Grandpa's stuff that you want. And I've seen these and some other things, and these end up being with me. So I shot some of them, and I have them into another box. I didn't want this box to get torn apart. It's kind of a collector's thing for me, a keepsake. I hold him very near and dear to my heart. I always wear his ring. So he's always with me. Now let's move on to something else I want to show you here of from years gone by to what we see now. So, all you black powder guys, when you go to a gun shop, gun show, or a shoot, like big shoots, nowadays we have plastic containers. This is a full 2 pound or full 1 pound of 2FG black powder by Goex. The last time that I bought this, it was at the gun show for $44.95 for the pound. Bought that. That's pretty darn expensive for black powder in my mind, but this is what the person has to pay now if you want black powder. And now I think it's even more. This is a couple of years ago I bought this. I don't do a lot of muzzle loading like I used to, so this lasts me a lot longer. I use it for shot shells in conjunction with other propellants like Pyrex, and I used to have some Goex Clear Shot, which I use that all up. 777. But getting back to this, this is what you find on the shelves today. Plastic, 1 pound bottles, jugs, whatever you want to call it. But we used to get it in metal tins. And I got one here even older than this. It's labeled differently, but metal tin. And that one is, I just emptied it. I save these for putting other powders in, and I relabel them with green like frog tape or duct tape, and I'll mark them with markers so there's no confusion that it's smokeless and black. Make sure your labeling is right, folks. Smokeless powder in this can can mean a lot of problems. And I don't mean maybe. So, this was probably, let's say, within the last 5 years. And this can here was probably from the early 2000s. And just wanted to show you some difference in labeling. There's the fronts. There's the back. Oh, sorry. We'll have another close look at these. I know you can't really see much on this side of my phone. I'm using the actual flat screen to face me. so I can see what I'm showing. So anyway, this is GoX black powder. Now and then. Moving on, I have something here you don't see every day. This is a really old can of Pyrex. This is from the early 1970s. Hodgdon, Pyrex. This can stayed in remarkably good shape. It was full. The labeling is actually really good. I'll show it to you in a few minutes. Got the red tab on top. Pyrex RS. Rifle shotgun. This stuff here I use a lot in my shot shells. It's excellent propellant for shot shells. It's a little dirtier, I find, than black. It's got a stronger sulfuric smell to it, I find, when it goes off. It is stronger by volume compared to regular black. This is a 2F equivalent, so 80 grains of this is probably equal to about 95 grains of black. So bear in mind when you're loading, if you want to keep pressures and you want to keep loads consistent, using this versus this, you're going to want to use just maybe a couple of grains less of this to equal this. That's just my experience. Maybe your experiences are different, but I have this can, and here's Pyrex now. Look at that. Ain't that pretty? So that's full. I use this a lot. This can, like I said, I've had it for years and years and years. I got it from a friend or at a show. I can't remember now, but I've had it a long time, and I used it. So I kept the tin because I've never seen another one. So this is our Pyrex we have now. This was bought in last year, and a pound of this right now in my area is going for $50. So not cheap, but if you want to enjoy your older shotguns, or your Damascus barrel guns, or your percussion shotguns, or your muzzle-loading rifles, this is an option for you. Now, I will tell you another thing about this versus this. This has a higher ignition temperature than this. This does not work good in flintlock guns. This does. So if you're going to be using it for muzzle loading, my suggestion to you is that you follow your manufacturer's recommendations for propellants. This works good in percussion guns. This does as well, but if you're using a traditional flintlock, like a musket, like a Brown Bess or something of the sort, this is not what you want to use for your pan or your main charge. This would work just dandy. So, a couple of different propellants here, but I wanted to show you the here and the before. The here now and the before. So, I'll flip the phone around. We'll look at the difference on the containers and give you a better bird's eye view of it. Now, something else I found before I start going into the in-depth look and whatever. I used to do a lot of target shooting with 308 at one point, 30-06, and a couple of other older calibers. And I often found that using Hodgdon 4895 was a great powder. The loads weren't magnums, they weren't mild, they were somewhere in between. This is the actual powder that they use in the Garand M1 Garand loads, 4895. Maybe not the Hodgdon version, but maybe the old IMR. But 4895 for the reduced loads for the Garand because of their gas system. It's a great powder. It's really converse. It works in a buttload of calibers. I was using it in 308, 303, 30-06, 30-30, and I think I even tried it in 45-70, and it always performed well. But when I was digging through my stuff, and I forgot I even had this, look what I got there. Well, this you don't see every day. And there's still about maybe a little less than half the can left. And this is by name and by classification number the same powder. However, when you pour this one out on paper and look at it, and you pour this one out, this stuff is really black and graphite-y, and this stuff here has a bronzish, I believe, look to it. I'm thinking that's the way it was, but we can look at that in another video. But I just want to show you the differences in the appearance of now and yesteryear. This is probably from the 2000s. I would say I bought this probably prior to 2010. This I bought at a gun show from an older friend of mine who's now long since passed away. So this, I used it before. This it actually they both performed pretty much the same. Good ignition, good powder, but just wanted to show you, the new stuff. You get some loading data there, some basic loading data. Cardboard tin, just like the Pardex can. Metal bottom, same red tab top. This here, just your screw top. And we'll flip them around. Pardon my camera work here. We got our warning labels and what have you and what not. They're a little different, but they basically mean the same. And I'm going to grab the phone here in a moment. I'm going to flip you around. I'm going to give you a quick gander at them. And I know people might not find this at all highly informative or interesting, but I just think it's kind of neat to see the before and the now. How things evolved, how things changed. So give me a second here, and I will grab you here and flip you around. Okay. So here we go. We have the older, newly manufactured H4895. Extremely flammable. No kidding. Gunpowder. Who'd have thought? So we have the old Hodgson sign here. It looks like a flaming bomb of some kind. Rifle powder. Weight 16 ounces, 454 grams. Sorry. Danger. And smokeless powder. Net weight 1 pound. We've got some French and some English. Also, we've got some data here on the new can. Hodgson Extreme powders. The flaming bomb, a little different looking. We have the label here. Little different. So, give you that 410 box. Imperial Magnum. 25 rounds. Canadian Industries Limited, CIL. 410 3-inch. 4, 5, 6, and 7.5 shots. Recommended for ducks, upland game, snipe, woodcock. Telling you there what recommended chamber lengths and what guns to use them in. There's the French side. Caliber is 410 rather than gauge. But if you can translate that, well, for us French guys up here, we can read it. And Manufactured Montreal, Canada, in Quebec. 3-inch Imperial Magnum. 25 shot shells, 410 gauge. So we have that. And we go to our GoX black powder. I mean, people have seen this before, but this is the metal tin. Authentic propellant is real black powder. I enjoy using this stuff. They've had their share of explosions at their plant at GoX, and they've changed owners and names and whatnot. And we have it there in French. Danger explosif. Poudre noire de chasse is black powder in French. And then we have all the advertisements here, and you know, super fine gunpowder. And you know what? It's a great powder. So just to show you here the $44 price tag I paid for it. Black powder explosive, USA. Newer plastic containers. You know, if you were to have a place that caught fire, and these here would probably tend to make a bigger boom explode than these. This would melt and fizzle the powder off. I think this would be a safer alternative than this. This would allow pressure to build inside the canister and possibly go kaboomy. This would kind of melt and go, and no harm done. I think that's why they did it. And just a quick comparison here, not to take up too much of anybody's time. We'll just kind of look at the here and the then. You can certainly tell, pardon my camera work, but you can certainly tell that there was a difference in how they made things. The old cardboard metal-ended tin, the labeling's a little different. The marks are a little different here. Well, actually, you know what? This red looks just like the silver one here, like the flaming bomb. Not for resale in the USA. I don't know. I think it's because it came to Canada, and I don't think they can take it back there. I think they got some kind of a trade thing. What we got here, here's the warnings. Hodge and Powder Company, Shawnee Mission, Kansas. I don't know where this one is. So is this the same? Well, I'll be darned. There it is, still the same place. And there you go. So I thought that I would kind of show you, you know, a few changes from the past and present, as you can see there. And I thought maybe you'd find that interesting. I'm going to flip you back around here, and I'm going to hold the phone here and just kind of close the video out. I hope you enjoyed a little look down memory lane and seeing some of the stuff that I have here that's from the years past, and some stuff from the time present, and how the packaging has changed, and that we still have the still have it around to be used and whatnot, and that how they had it years ago versus how they make it now. You've already seen on Shotgun Scientist's video the newer 410 shell box. I have one here somewhere. I just didn't dig it out. I just wanted to show the different one that I had out just on my display shelf and so on. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little trip down memory lane, and we'll see you on the next one. Safe shooting, safe loading, and have a great day. Bye, everybody.